Welcome everybody to Cal Poly Pomona's 17th Annual Cybersecurity and Awareness Fair. I hope you're ready for this wonderful presentation that we're going to share with you today. Welcome everybody to Cal Poly Pomona's 17th Annual Cybersecurity Awareness Fair. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Paul Warwick, who will be presenting on the topic CITP Credential and the AICPA University Program in IT. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have enjoyed your time at our event thus so far. As we go through this presentation, please feel free to post questions in the chat box. All the questions will be answered during the Q&A portion at the very end. So welcome, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And so welcome everyone, and thanks for taking part in this session. We're going to be exploring the AICPA's CITP Credential, in addition to the university program and information technology that was launched by the AICPA earlier this year. Before I get started, just a bit about me. My name is Paul Warwick. I'm a senior manager with the AICPA, where my primary responsibility is management and oversight of our CITP Credential. And that stands for Certified Information Technology Professional, and but more commonly referred to as the CITP. And so I'll be speaking in a lot of depth on the CITP Credential here in a few minutes. But as far as my current role goes, anything and everything CITP Credential related, I'm likely involved in. So, this includes things such as development and oversight of the CITP exam, management of a 9-person CITP Credential committee, credential marketing and communications, recruitment and retention of CITP Credential holders, as well as development of CITP related education offerings, in addition to a variety of other ongoing initiatives, which I'll speak to later in this presentation, mainly the AICPA University Program in Information Technology, which falls under my responsibility as well. And so in addition to that, I also oversee management of our portfolio of learning products in the data analytics area, where I oversee the development and maintenance of education resources in this space. And so I've been with AICPA for almost 8 years now. I'm a licensed CPA. I live in North Carolina, and prior to coming to AICPA, I spent time in public accounting, where I worked as an external auditor with Ernst & Young in Atlanta, Georgia for a number of years. And then, spent time as a senior revenue accountant, where I'm responsible for revenue recognition for a software company here in North Carolina. And then more recently was a controller at a technology systems integrator here in North Carolina as well. All right, well, that's enough about me. Let's now take a quick look at what we're going to be doing in today's agenda. So the first portion of today's session will center around the CITP Credential. Starting with what the CITP Credential represents, what it means to be a CITP Credential holder, followed by an overview of the CITP Credential body of knowledge, which represents the competency areas of the CITP professional. From there, we'll take a look at the pathway to becoming a CITP Credential holder, as well as the various eligibility requirements that must be met in order to obtain the CITP. And then we'll wrap up the CITP Credential portion by looking at a few of the many reasons why professionals choose to pursue the CITP Credential and the value that the CITP can provide for one's career. We'll then shift gears, and although not completely, to the university program in information technology that the AICPA launched earlier this year. And the reason why I say not completely is because the university program is actually structured in a manner that aligns with the CITP Credential competency. And so from there, as part of that, I'll go through and I'll go over the resources that the AICPA provides to faculty and students as part of, for those who participate in the universities, along with what is asked for or of from participating schools. And before opening up for a Q&A session, I'll touch on just a few of the many benefits provided for universities who participate in partnership with the AICPA as part of this new university program in information technology. All right, so let's jump right into the CITP Credential overview and start by looking at who the CITP Credential holder is. Oops. And so The CITP is one of 6 specialty credentials that the AICPA offers. And really the CITP, it distinguishes a professional for his or her ability to be able to bridge business and technology. CITP credential holders, they provide business insight by leveraging knowledge of information relationships, as well as supporting technologies. And it's the unique skill set that really positions the CITP professional at the forefront of change. As an exclusive business advisor with proficiency in technology, business, and finance. And CITP specialize and demonstrate expertise and experience in a number of different areas, all of which are very much relevant in today's marketplace. These areas, which I'll be discussing in more depth here shortly, they include information security and cyber risk, business intelligence, data management and analytics, and IT governance risks and controls. And so when it comes to these areas, CITPs understand the impact of these areas on financial reporting, as well as on business operations. And so that's really the key differentiator for the CITP professional. When you compare it to professionals who hold competing designations and in these same sort of areas, is the fact that the tie-in to financial reporting. All right, so let's take a closer look now at the CITP credential body of knowledge. And so here we have a very high level view of the body of knowledge, also referred to as the CITP Exam Content Specification Outline, which really serves as the foundation for our CITP exam, which I'll speak to in greater depth here in the next few slides. But one thing that really makes the CITP credential unique is that it represents a broad body of knowledge. It's built around those same areas that I mentioned of information security and cyber risks, BI, data management and analytics, as well as IT governance, risk and controls. And this broad body of knowledge is a very distinguishing factor for CITP. When you look at some of the other marketplace designations, the majority of which are really much more narrow in focus. And so you'll be hearing me refer to these 3 modules quite a bit in the CITP body of knowledge. But like I said, it is broken out into 3 modules. Each one represents one of the foundational areas for the CITP. And so the ABC that you see under each of the 3 modules, that represents key subject matter areas of focus specific to that particular module. And the percentages that you see beside the A, B, and C items for each of the 3 modules, that represents exam weighting percentages and the relative importance of each of these areas with respect to the CITP exam. So let's just take module 3, for example, where you see that item A, IT governance and strategy, has a weight of 15%, which means that 15% of the exam is going to be testing one's knowledge of topical areas that are relevant to IT governance and strategy. And so when you look at module 1, you'll see the areas of focus include information security governance, cyber security risk management, as well as SOC for cybersecurity. For module 2, data management, data analysis and reporting, and business intelligence management. And then lastly, the 3 areas of focus for the 3rd module consists of IT governance and strategy, IT risks, process and controls, and system and organization controls reporting, otherwise known as SOC reporting. And so when you look at the weighting percentages for each of these modules as a whole, module 1 and 3 are at 40%, while module 2 is a little lower at 20%. And before we move on to the next slide, I do want to reiterate that this is a very, very high level overview of the body of knowledge. There's a much more detailed version of the body of knowledge that can be accessed from the link shown in your slides, and which really shows the topics and subtopics encompassed within each of these A, B, and C items that are displayed here on this slide. And so these slides will be made available following today's session, so everyone will be able to navigate to this link. You don't have to write it down or type it in your computer. And so let's go ahead now and shift gears a bit to the eligibility requirements for CITPs. And so captured here on this slide are requirements that must be met at this point in time in order to become a CITP credential holder. So in addition to being an AICPA member in good standing, you must also hold a valid and unrevoked CPA permit, license, or certificate, We don't require that to be active, just that, and those with an inactive status as a CPA are still eligible to become a CITP. And also I want to add that, joining the AICPA and applying for the CITP credential can happen at the same time. And as already mentioned, we do have an exam requirement in place. This next slide, we'll touch on that. And then along with that, we also have candidates must also meet the business experience requirement, which I will touch on here in a minute as well. All right, so let's take a closer look at the CITP exam. First and foremost, the exam is a computer-based exam, consists of 160 multiple choice questions, which candidates have 4 hours, 4-hour window of time to complete. The exam's offered continuously throughout the year. Candidates have the flexibility to take the exam remotely, which we've seen quite a bit of over the last 20 or so months, with the pandemic. Many are taken from their own home, which is completely fine. We have a self-proctoring thing there to allow for that. And candidates also, if you would like to take it into, a testing center, we have that option as well. We work with Criterion, and they have over 300 testing centers across the US and Canada. So more than likely there's one, in your surrounding area. And then, given the current requirement that one must have a CPA license in order to obtain the credential, it's often assumed that you have to be a CPA in order to be able to sit for the CITP exam. And that's simply not the case at all. You can take the CITP exam without having your CPA. And if you take and pass the exam, your score is going to remain valid indefinitely. And then once, the CPA requirement is fulfilled and you meet the business experience requirement that I'll cover here in a minute, you would be eligible to apply for the CITP credential. So just want to reiterate that, you don't have to be a CPA in order to be able to take the CITP exam. All right, now let's take a closer look at the business experience requirement that a candidate must fulfill in order to obtain the CITP. And so basically there are 2 ways it can be fulfilled. The first of which is being through the accumulation of 1,000 hours of business experience in the credential body of knowledge within the last 5 years. And for those in academia, though, this can be accomplished by being a full-time professor who's taught at least 4 accredited college courses with at least 50% of the material covered in those courses being relevant to the CITP body of knowledge. So pretty straightforward with that. Now that we've looked at the pre-certification requirements must be fulfilled to become a CITP credential holder, I want to now just briefly touch on, post-certification education requirements that exist and existing CITP credential holders must fulfill annually in order to maintain their credential. And the requirement is simply that one must complete 20 hours of continuing professional development, or CPD as we call it, over the course of a calendar year. So this 20 hours can be, similar to the requirement that I just spoke about before, where it has to be in the body of knowledge. This one as well, the 20 hours must be of education must be, relevant to the CITP credential body of knowledge, and up to 50%, or 10 of those 20 hours can actually consist of unstructured learning activities. Now, this can be things such as work-based learning, peer-to-peer learning, research, coaching and mentoring, project-based work, just to name a few. So a lot of different things there. It's not as strict as CPE requirements that we have for CPAs. So there's some flexibility there that we provide to our candidates, or to our existing credential holders in this case. All right. So, now we've taken a look at the CITP credential competency, the pre-certification requirements, to obtain the credential, and then what one must do in order to maintain the credential. So what I want to do is I'll wrap up this segment by just answering the fundamental question of, okay, why CITP? Why should I pursue the CITP? And shown here on the slide, in no particular order, are a few of the many reasons that professionals choose to obtain the CITP credential. First off, the CITP, it promotes a greater level of confidence amongst employers and clients. It illustrates proficiency in assessing technology risk and information management, as well as supporting system implementations, and then evaluating security and privacy programs. And holding the CITP, it demonstrates your commitment to continuously improving IT skills and expertise, resulting in increased professional competency. Along with that, the CITP, it highlights your ability to be able to develop and maintain information governance, perform data analytics, provide insight for business decisions, and then support financial reporting system implementations. And so being a CITP credential holder, it expands opportunities for referrals, whether it be from other practitioners, strategic partners, consumers, or clients. And last but certainly not least, it provides access to a network and community of like-minded professionals with similar technology-related interests and expertise. All right, so now let's go ahead and shift our focus to the AICPA University Program in Information Technology, which is an exciting new initiative that AICPA launched in 2021. This is an initiative that I've been, very much involved with from the start, and spent a good amount of time on this over the course of the last year in particular. And one that could not be done without the help of a very dedicated group of CITP credential holders who are volunteers, who through their participation as members of a CITP University Outreach Task Force, they have played a very, very important role in getting this initiative off the ground, and continue to play an important role in keeping things moving forward. And so big thanks to Charles Bogues, who's played an instrumental role in this, and as well as Justin Thompson, Harsh Jadhav, Deborah Habel, Mario Nowogrodsky, and Marissa Doris, all of whom have dedicated time and effort to this initiative. So this university program is something that I'm very passionate about, and something that I look forward to continuing to be involved with as we move forward. Okay, so as shown here on the slide, the university program in IT is one that the AICPA has designed for accounting students. And as you will recall from my earlier slide on the CITP body of knowledge, shown here are the same three core areas of information security and cyber risk, business intelligence, data management and analytics, and IT governance, risks, and controls. And so these serve as the foundation for our university program in technology. And then, as shown on the next slide, this slide here, that is by design. As this university program, it covers a body of knowledge that aligns with the CITP Credential Exam and also builds off the CPA body of knowledge. And so shown on the next two slides are resources that are going to be made available by the AICPA to schools who participate in the university program. And the first item shown is the Model Information Technology Curriculum. And so the Model IT Curriculum is something that we released back in July of 2020 for purposes of serving as a resource for educators who are looking to either enhance existing course offerings or to serve as a blueprint for educators to use in the development of a new course. And so this model curriculum, it provides recommendations for designing the information technology component of the academic curriculum, accounting curriculum, in line with the CITP exam content specification outline, which is the CITP body of knowledge. And included in the model IT curriculum is a sample syllabus, which is designed for a 3-hour credit course. And in addition to this, we also provide a channel to be able to purchase the complete guide to the CITP body of knowledge review course at a very significantly discounted rate for both students and professors. And additionally, as shown on this slide, the AICPA provides complimentary membership to all students. So that's huge, and a lot of students are not aware of that. So I want to make sure that you guys are, and you are absolutely able to get a free membership to the AICPA while you're a student. So and along with this, as well as a promotion code for both students and professors who are part of this university program for those schools, they get to take the CITP exam at no cost while in school or within a year of graduation even. So And so basically that's right now for AICPA members, in order to be able to take the exam, the fee is $400, and for non-members is $500. So, being able to take it for free is certainly a perk, and something that we gladly are doing for those who participate, those schools that participate in this program. And then lastly, the AICPA will have a designated staff member to assist with any questions, concerns, other issues that may arise as part of the university program. As far as what we ask of participating programs, it really consists of two asks, really. So the first being centering around the awareness of the CITP credential. And this can be done in a number of different ways, a few of which are shown here on the slide. Whether it be providing a link to the CITP credential pathway or the CITP logo on your website, or even including information on the CITP and its pathway in your course materials. But it's not limited to this, and we're certainly open to other ideas. What matters most to us is that students are being encouraged to explore and made aware of the CITP credential and its pathway, and really just that there's more than just audit and tax for those who are interested in accounting. I mean, this is with the way the technology is now and the way that we foresee it as the future. I mean, technology is the future, so there's no limit to the possibilities that can and when you think about where accounting is going and the importance of technology. So it's heading in we all know where it's heading. So, and then the second requirement we ask is that participating schools use either the model information technology curriculum, the complete guide to the CITP body of knowledge exam review course, or any other available, third-party materials that align with our CITP credential body of knowledge. And so I'm very pleased to report that just last month, the AICPA found its first university partner. And I'm even more pleased to report that university is Cal Poly Pomona. And so in September 2021, a university agreement was established with Cal Poly, which made Cal Poly the first university to partner with the AICPA for this new university program in information technology. And Charles Bogus, who I referenced earlier, is being a member of the University Outreach Task Force. He played a pivotal role in this partnership with CPP, and I can't say enough about the effort and the level of effort that he put forth in helping to make this happen. And so I'm also very excited because I'll be serving as the designated AICPA representative and point of contact for Cal Poly in conjunction with this university agreement, and very much look forward to working with the great folks at Cal Poly in the months and years ahead. All right, so in closing, I just want to, let's take a look at some of the benefits of partnering with the AICPA for the university program in information technology. As part of that, you're going to be one of the first accounting programs to meet, the demand, growth, and opportunities information technology provides. You help your students satisfy the accounting hours needed to meet the CPA education requirement. It provides students with greater opportunity through work towards multiple credentials, including both the CPA and CITP, and to do so in a more efficient and cost-effective manner. In addition to this, participating universities, they have the full support of the AICPA, in developing the program and working with them to get their curriculum to a place where it aligns with the CITP body of knowledge. And so, as mentioned earlier as well, both students and professors are eligible to take the exam at no charge. Current fees to take the exam, as I mentioned, right now are $400 for members and $500 for non-members. So, really significant savings when it comes to that. And then remember, for students, the free CITP exam eligibility is not limited to just when they're in school. It remains eligible for up to a year after graduation, where you can still take the CITP exam at no cost. So. And then lastly, as a university partner of the AICPA, the AICPA provides ongoing recognition through the press, as well as an opportunity for your university to market collaboratively with the AICPA. And before we open up for a Q&A session, which I'll be participating in alongside Dr. Koo, who is the director of the Master of Accountancy program at Cal Poly, I just want to share my contact info in addition to a few relevant links for those interested in learning more about either the CITP Credential or the AICPA University Program in Information Technology. And so, as previously mentioned, these slides will be made available for access following today's session. So I do encourage everyone to visit the link shown here, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me, whether it be via email or over the phone at the number shown on the slide. If you have questions or if you'd like additional information on the CITP Credential or the university program in IT, please, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be happy to get back to you and speak with you on that. And so I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in for today's session. And I'd also like to thank Cal Poly for providing me with the opportunity to take part in this annual Cybersecurity and Awareness Fair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, for being our guest speaker today. Your presentation was very insightful. I also want to thank you all for attending Paul Warwick's presentation on CITP Credential and the AICPA University Program in IT. We hope you have learned a lot from this session and appreciate your engagement. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me. My name is Amber Martinez, and we'd be happy to help you find the answer. Also, I also want to let you know, please don't forget to check out our water bottle and laptop contest for stickers, as we're giving away No Starch Press $20 ebook voucher. Please participate. These are great prizes. Also, thank you again and have a wonderful day.
Now we'll open it up for any questions. We have Dr. Koo here, we have Paul here. You guys can feel free to type it in the chat. That was actually very interesting. I'm not a CPA, but it was very interesting to hear about that. And so nice to hear that we were the first university to partner for this program. That's awesome to have this opportunity for our students. I was curious though, I know AICPA is international. For this credential, is it transferable, or as for every country, would you have to do something different, or if you were to move to a different country?
Yeah, so it depends on whether your status as an AICPA member. At this point, I mean, the body of knowledge that the CITP represents is one that's global, so it's going to translate across it. It's not, there's not going to be any specific differences as far as that goes. But yeah, it's all based on whether you're a member, because at this point in time, like, we do require the CPA in order to obtain the CITP. And yeah, and I will say that efforts, we're considering whether professionals outside of the CPA population would be, should be eligible for this. That nothing has come from that yet, and so it's still being looked into. But for right now, yeah, it is a global body of knowledge, but it is based on where where your membership is with, because we also have a partnership with CPA Canada, where their members can obtain our CITP credential as part of a partnership agreement with them, as long as they have to meet some established requirements. But so yeah, so we're trying to make it possible to globalize it. It is difficult when to peel away the membership piece is that's the difficult part. So as far as and whether or not someone's a CPA in another country, if they're a US CPA, then you can absolutely, it's not based on where you reside in that situation. So hope that answers your question. It's a long answer, but hopefully that answers.
Thank you. Are there special benefits to faculty?
Yeah, so as far as just the participation in the university program, you mean, is that, so basically, yeah, so we're going to, so as I mentioned in the presentation, there'll be, so professors will be able to they'll have the ability to take the exam at no charge as well. I mean, while they're a professor. And then, as far as we are considering the development of specific resources, like as far as education goes, right now we provided access to our CITP Body of Knowledge Review course, which basically highlights and covers the content specific to what's tested on the exam. And there, but we did recently develop education resources. We call it the CITP Learning Pathway. And for each of the 3 modules in the CITP Body of Knowledge, we have specific education that really provides a really deep dive into that. That is a product that we sell separately and as part of one product. So we have it where people can purchase it as one. And so what we're going to look into is whether it makes sense to offer that or provide that to Cal Poly and other universities, as an option for them as far as their curriculum goes, because it is much more detailed and it has, in total, I mean, we track it by CPE hours and it's like 59 hours of CPE total with that. So, so anyway, yeah, so that's something we are considering. So great question.
So Paul, I think this is a great opportunity for our students who in the past, I got a lot of questions. Students says, I really like accounting. I also like IT. Which one do I choose? A lot of them have to choose accounting as a major or the CIS as a minor or the other way around. So this is a great career opportunity for students who are in that route, right? So that's perfect,
Right, yeah.
Perfect for that. But we also have a big portion of the students who are say, I choose CIS because I'm not good in accounting. Or I choose accounting because I'm not good at IT. Or someone say, I like IT, but not good enough to be a IT profession. So any suggestion for students who are in that maybe marginally IT, but not strong enough, or marginally like accounting, but not strong enough to be a CPA? Any suggestion for those students?
I think in the situation where someone, as far as technology goes, I don't think people have a choice anymore. Like, I mean, you're not, IT's gonna touch anything. So any aspect of accounting now is IT related. The other side's a little, that's gonna be different, just one's preferences. I mean, accounting certainly not always for everybody, but there's a ton of opportunity in accounting and just tremendous growth opportunity as far as, and then when you look at it, because a lot of people, I know that when I was in school, because I got my master's in accounting, I got my undergrad and the master's in accounting from NC State University a long time ago. But and so as part of that, so when I entered the master's program, granted it's changed now, but the way it was set up was like, okay, you choose tax or audit, and there's really nothing else. Now that's just not the. I mean, there's so many other things you can do outside of just the standard tax and audit roles, whether even, and that's from a public accounting standpoint. Business and industry, there's also many opportunities, as y'all are probably well aware. So yeah, I mean, it's just, I think just raising awareness of those opportunities and how someone who, and just examples, our CITPs are great examples of that. It's a very broad, so we have CITPs who specialize in certain parts of our body of knowledge. For instance, one might be a cybersecurity specialist. He or she may not be doing data analytics on a daily basis, but they're aware of it. But so there's just a lot of different. It's interesting when you look at our CITPs and really the work that they're doing is just tremendous. There's a growing opportunities of roles that CITPs can play, and the body of knowledge that it represents is very, very relevant. So yeah, I just think that to answer your question, I mean, yeah, it's tough to get someone, convince them that accounting is right for them. I think just showing them the opportunities though that can exist out of that is the big thing there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When will the CITP specialty courses start to be available at Cal Poly?
Sorry, I missed that. I apologize.
Oh, this might be for Dr. Koo. When will the CITP specialty courses start to be available at Cal Poly?
Okay, we actually we developed, Dr. Goma, who's also part of the participants here, he has developed a cybersecurity and accounting course, and we will start teaching that class in spring 2022. And the course number is not the actual course number, but that we will start teaching that specific course in spring 2022. But we also, a lot of actually with our existing curriculum, we already cover a good portion of the CITP contents, and we do have an advanced analytics in accounting. We also have a fraud and forensic accounting, and we also have internal control and corporate governance, and we will actually increase the content coverage in those courses to cover more of a CITP required body of knowledge. And we are, and of course, and also the other IT courses that we suggest students to take as an elective for this, to fulfill this CITP requirements, and will be found the MSIS program. There are some IT courses like, for example, digital forensic and security and privacy in IS. Those courses actually are already available. So we already have, long story short, we have existing curriculum actually has covered majority of the requirements, and we are developing more along the way. Thank you.
These were great questions, very relevant. It's 10:35. I want to turn it back to Amber. If you could help close us off.
Yes, thank you. I want to say thank you to Paul Warwick for attending with us today. Your information has been very insightful, and all of these questions are really great, especially with me. I'm not an accountant major whatsoever. I'm cybersecurity, and unfortunately, one of my weaknesses is accounting. So to be able to hear that we can be able to go back and forth, it's been actually really insightful and a lot of information. So I would definitely want to say thank you to Paul Warwick. Thank you to Coop for answering all of our questions, and thank you everybody for attending today. Hope you have a wonderful time, and don't forget to check out our photo contest for your water bottles and laptops. We want to see your stickers. We're giving out wonderful and great prizes. So thank you again, everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.